you guys want to laugh, I recorded a video in the middle of the day today, tried to get out ahead of it, and didn't even waste my time posting it because I thought MSTR was in a symmetrical triangle, but of course that didn't hold and we broke down today. I posted this that you see on my screen though, over 2 weeks ago. I was messing around with a fib retracement tool and realized that the price target of $322 makes a whole lot of sense. If you've never seen a fib retrace tool on a chart, then you're like, what the heck is this? A bunch of rainbow colors and lines. But if you're familiar with it at all, you probably know that the price action tends to respect the fib levels across the board on many charts, not just MSTR. It's also one of those things though where you could measure different tops to bottoms and argue that you could probably always make it work. So I'm not trying to be MSTR's apologist here. Nobody's paying me under the table to try to make people remain bullish on the stock that is currently not doing too hot. Let's be honest, and we're going to talk about it, but I posted this on August 20th. Today's September 3rd. It feels like that was a year ago, but that was only, 2.5 weeks ago. 322 as a price target would make a whole lot of sense. Don't take me at my word. This behind me basically shows you how it would align with the daily candles. So those are all daily candles. I like the idea of 322 and then reversing higher. I hate the idea of going down 322, but I mean, hey, if we have to go down anyways, why not 322? I wanted to share just from Twitter, Hermes Lux, friend of the channel. He's going to be actually a guest for my private group. If anybody's interested, talking about selling those 10 Delta covered calls, link in the description to join if you're interested. That's coming up this weekend. MSTR is now where they want it to be before the inevitable SPX inclusion. This is why I don't bother trying to time markets or not sell covered calls in anticipation. Dark pools, which include MSTR ATM selling pressure, will direct the stock's short-term movement more than anything else. I sell short-term hopium in exchange for long-term gains. The last time the MSTR dark pool selling pressure was more than it is today was on March 27th, 2025. Should we go back in time and see what that looked like? Let's go back. March 27th, 2025. When was that? March 27th. That was a top. Interesting. So he likened the selling pressure today in dark pools to the top of the Q1 breakout in MSTR, which was on the back of literally from the bottom here. That was on the back of a like 322% run up. So interesting. By the way, follow him on X. He's a good guy. Also wanted to mention Brown Hole Capital. Funny name. He mentioned that there could be a conspiracy theory here about the SPX inclusion for MSTR. Because remember how Fong Li announced that he had bought 119 shares of STRC? Well, 119, and the average price was 95.05. Well, this is not my original content. This is his. He said, well, 95.05, that's interesting because on 9/5, September 5th, you get the S&P inclusion announcement at 5 p.m. 955. I don't know. There was another one, wasn't there? The 119. Oh, yeah. An effective inclusion is on the 19th, and he bought 119 shares. I'm just saying, could there be something to it, guys? You tell me. I thought that was interesting. I'll link to both Hermes Lux and Brown Hole Capital underneath this video to give them credit. Go give them a follow. But yeah, 322 MSTR is my target. In terms of when we get there, I want to show you which is the chart. I think this is the chart right here. Sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit. By the way, give me some slack here. I'm re-recording this video. I mean, I literally recorded one earlier that was 20 minutes long and then just had to throw it away. So down here, this white channel support will be at 322 on Friday. Oh, I'm blocking it, of course. I'm probably blocking it. My bad, guys. On Friday of this week, 322 is the white channel support. Now, if I zoom out just to show you this white channel support, what you'll notice is we have reconnected with it right here and right here. So this would be the third time using it. I don't want to say test. I don't like saying testing downside support. It just doesn't feel right if I'm long the stock, but I guess it would be a test, wouldn't it? And I also like to check the other side of the parallel channel. And this is what I like about this specific angle of this channel. Look at the top side. It goes back all the way to this top in July 2023. It then connects to the top in Q1 2024. You get all of these bodies of these daily candles. Then you interact with it again at $430 up here on May 2025. Now, the 456 one fell a little bit short, but there's reasons for that. I found like 4 or 5 different reasons why that was a local top then. So I actually like this channel, the way it is drawn on the top side and the bottom. And now the question just becomes like, does it hold? Does the support hold? If we do in fact go down there, this Friday would be my guess, so that we get that 322 tap, which would make all the sense in the world. Again, if you're familiar at all with how these fib retracements work, you know, it's crazy that like all of these candle bodies would essentially be structured in like ahead of, like in the future, like they were currently, I guess they were in the past. I sound like an idiot right now. But basically all that price action, that's like 200 daily candles of past price action for MSTR that hinged on MSTR in the future today, not today, Friday, hitting 322. Just think about that. And then tell me with a straight face that these market maker algorithms are not just like otherworldly, man. It's insane. If it happens, but my lean is that it will happen. My lean is that it'll happen on Friday. And then we go higher from there. Now, for reference, Coinbase, just in case you guys didn't know. So this is what Coinbase's chart looked like ahead of the S&P 500 announcement. It was trading under a declining 200-day moving average. And then you got the S&P inclusion announcement on May 12th, 2025. And immediately, basically, between, I guess it was after hours that day, I'm guessing just based on the candles here, it gapped up 13% on Tuesday, the next day, and then ultimately closed that trading day up 25%. And when you hear those statistics about like all the gains on the stock market are made in just a few days out of the year, it's because whatever reason, it's probably usually in oversold conditions. And then, you know, you get a big counter trend because too many people are on one side of the trade. But that's one of those like times where, you know, all the money was made in like one day, you know, and then you got some other crazy candles like right here from the 21 daily EMA up 18% in one day. You got another candle here up 12%. Anyways, what I really wanted to share is that under a declining 200-day moving average when it was included. Now, you can call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't care. Call me and Brown Hole Capital over here are the conspiracy theorists of the group. But like, I believe somebody probably knew something about the coming inclusion of Coinbase in the S&P, probably had a strong suspicion. Like, I just feel like there's people in the know, guys. Like, money is such a vicious game, and there's truth in money. And you might think, well, if they knew it was going to be included, why wasn't the price going up from right here? Why didn't it go up right there? Well, because who do you think was buying down here and pushing the price down here? I could be completely wrong. Let me know in the comments. I might sound like an idiot. You know, at risk of sounding like an idiot, though, I'm going to leave this in the video. I'm not going to edit it out. What else do we need to talk about? So that's Coinbase. And MSTR is in a very similar place. This is the chart I wanted to show you guys. Again, I ended yesterday's video with this point, but I'm going to make it one more time. The Q1 2024 breakout for MSTR came on the back of the 0.618 fib. Okay, and we actually traded down below the 0.618 fib on that last candle, and these are daily candles. We went 5.8% below it before the reversal. Okay, so remember 618 fib there. Now let's go to the next one. And what do you know? The 618 fib again is where that move took off from, but it also included trading below it right before the move started its upward trajectory. So 618 fib, noticing a pattern here. Can you guess where we are today? If you guessed the 618 fib and guessed that, yes, we are a little bit below it, you would be correct. Does that mean we're going higher? I don't know. Time will tell. I'm not MSTR's apologist. Although if they do want to pay me to be that guy, call me. By the way, not a financial advisor, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I own MSTR and Bitcoin, all that good stuff. Okay, I had to get that out of the way. Now I'm going to delete these fib retracements. And I mean, just look at the pattern, guys. I mean, we've talked about this before, but it is very similar patterns, whether you want to draw it kind of out like this, where it's kind of the up, the dip, and then that, up, dip, that, up, dip, that. You've got it repeating 3 times, or the way that I also like to kind of look at it is on my red chart, which I guess I can just open the red chart right here. I called it the J structures. I mean, it really doesn't matter what you want to call it. It's hard to deny that there are a lot of repeating moves just at different scales here. And let's just zoom in and see kind of where we're at here with the parabola. So 322. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, again, the parabolas are not an exact science, guys, but like that red channel support that you see behind me is also the same one that I drew on that other chart. And the way that the parabola is currently drawn with its touch points essentially here, 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 you know, you would have another touch point there, and then it would just be off to the races. Theoretically, if that works out 322 Friday, What else was there to talk about? So we're under a declining 200-day moving average. I did want to talk about that, guys. The 200-day rate of change, which I talked about a lot yesterday, is under the baseline. Okay, normally if you just look at TradingView by default, it's a dashed line. For the video, I made it a red line so it's easier to see. Our 200-day rolled over. It's officially in the decline, even though it looks pretty flat. That's never a good thing, you know? So we're trading under the 200-day and it's declining. The only other thing for me to want to sell my MSTR is if we lose that primary channel support, you know, and that's going to be currently at 322, but by Friday it's going to be currently it's at like 324, I think. On Friday it's 322. So I think on Friday we might have a date with Destiny 322, and then I don't know if the announcement for the S&P inclusion will come during market hours or after hours, but given how, I don't even know. Do I even care? I was going to say, given how much MSTR has sold off recently, with the potential for S&P inclusion on the horizon or without it, I don't even care. That's the thing. What about the Bitcoin log chart breakout? What about if it doesn't get included in the S&P and Bitcoin recovers the log chart breakout line? Do you think I care at all? Do you think MSTR that owns 600 some thousand Bitcoin cares? Right? Think about it. Look, why would it matter? If Bitcoin recovers 119,000 this week, next week it's going to be 119,400. It's gone. It's going to fly to north of 200K. As like a baseline, you know, minimum price target north of 200K. So it's like, does the S&P inclusion really matter? I don't know. Anyways, have I made this video long enough? Did I miss anything? So under the 200-day, it rolled over. I guess the only other thing is like, look at the RSI, guys. Like I did this exercise 2 weeks ago. And if you want, maybe I'll do another video tomorrow, honestly, and just wrap this one. But like when the RSI is down here, if you need me to do it for you, let me know in the comments and I can tomorrow. Otherwise, just go into TradingView and look. But when the RSI is this depressed down here in like the low 30s, virtually every single time it has popped pretty significantly. Even, this is what's so crazy, and I did this in my earlier video that I ended up not releasing, but like even down here when it's under a declining 200-day moving average and it's pretty much confirmed to be in a little bit of a bear market, it's still got some nice pops off of those oversold RSI levels, which technically low 30s, I don't think it qualifies as oversold. But it's just one of those things, pattern recognition. Like, why would we be sellers down here when historically only like true suckers have sold down here? I mean, personally, like I don't feel good about doing that. But also at the same time, I mentioned this yesterday and in previous videos, like if you sold right here on that sell signal where you crossed under the 200-day and lost the primary channel support, you avoided an additional 80% drawdown. If you're irresponsibly long MSTR like I am, how much would it be worth to you to have somebody who's in the charts daily looking for the perfect entry for shares and options and eventually looking to see if we might have topped and it's time to take profits? If this is something that interests you, I want to invite you to check out my MSTR Generational Wealth community linked below.